Bradley Wiggins has made a big surprise revelation this week in that he doesn't actually ride a bike anymore. He said it's because he doesn't like the person he became when he was on it. He made these comments as part of a 6-part BBC documentary on imposter syndrome. He also said, I was the most confident bike rider when I was on the bike, but step off it and I had to step back as Bradley Wiggins because the bike was where I was most comfortable and it gave me all my confidence in my life. He's well known for his unique style and funny moments on podiums, but apparently he has no memory of standing on the Champs-Élysées or any other Olympic podium. He said that the only memory he has is watching it back on TV. He also said he started growing his sideburns and mod hair and clothing because he was self-conscious at being looked at even and wanted a distraction. Are you a fan of Bradley Wiggins?
Yeah, I think he's great.
How could you not be?
Well, yeah, he's amazing. And he's a bloody nice bloke as well. Because he does a lot of tour stuff. I know him through that. So, but going back to the thing about not riding his bike, a lot of the pros, after they finished their job as a bike rider, a lot of them don't want to see a bike ever again. Yeah, because I know quite a few of the guys that used to ride World Tour and in the other ranks as well, and because they used to train so hard, through the years that they were professional, they never ever want to see that torture instrument again. Yeah, there's quite a few of them. You'd be surprised, and a lot of them run instead and just keep fit. Some just don't even bother keeping fit at all because it's such a horrible memory for them, just training.
I think something that's really hard to deal with, even as an amateur, is being historic fitness. And I think probably when you are at the highest level in the world, it must be really hard to normalize, learn what's normal. And that probably causes lots of issues, and therefore, I wouldn't be surprised if Bradley Wiggins ends up riding bikes again in the future just because he poodles around with his kids or something or other. But it'll just, he almost needs to redefine what it is, and I imagine that's why some then go into running and things, because it's a new benchmark. You're not going well, I could be a pro. You're going, well, how fast can I run? Okay, cool.
Yeah, but I keep on reading about if you're a pro athlete, you need to detrain. Yeah, it takes about a couple of years for your body to. I mean, if you just stop training, your body goes into some sort of shock, and you need to carry on training for a couple of years, just
taper
to
it down
wean yourself
the other
off
way.
of it. Yeah, it's an odd thing, but I can totally understand why he doesn't want to do it. It's just put yourself in that situation. You're out training, doing 6 hours a day, and in sunny weather or in horrible weather as well. It is going to affect the way you think about that instrument, isn't it?
On the subject of music, I remember when I was young, I remember people always saying to me, "You should teach drums. You should teach drums." And I always just remember at the time thinking, I don't want it to feel like work. I want music to always just be this fun, playful space. I was fearful that if I make it work, then it will lose that kind of space, that thing I get from it.
Yeah.
And I think that's ultimate. You ride a bike when you're young because you enjoy it. It becomes a job that's absolutely brutal, and then you get to a point where you're well, maybe not anymore.
Well, I was asked, remember a few years ago, the Indy Pack, that the bike race in Australia, they went from Perth to Sydney. I was asked by one of the guys who did that in the first year, would you ever be interested in doing it? I went, no way. He said, why? Because I enjoy riding my bike, and I know if I did that, I'd hate it. Yeah. And it just looked horrible, riding 23 hours a day or whatever, and kipping down for an hour, then riding again. That would destroy my love of the bike. I love riding my bike, but I love riding in beautiful places, but putting yourself through that, I know I'll learn to hate it. So I can see exactly where they're coming from.
Have you had that effect with music? So presumably you learnt you got into music at a young age because you just loved music, and obviously it's now your career. Has that had an impact on your enjoyment of it?
Not really, no. I've been really lucky that everybody that I've been involved with professionally in music, I've really enjoyed the music. I don't think I could do music that I didn't enjoy, but I actually quite like all types of music anyway. So, but it's not about the music as well. It's about personalities. And most people who work in music, especially tour music, are really nice people. Because if they weren't really nice people, they wouldn't have that job. You know, half the job, as well as being proficient in your instrument, is getting along with people. Now, if you're on tour and you're a bit of an idiot, if you're a musician or if you're part of the crew, you're not going to get asked back if you're a bit of a dick.
Yeah.
So it's luckily enough in the music world, most people aren't dicks. So
That definitely explains then why I've never made it in the music industry.
are you a dick? Oh dear.
Depends who you ask, I think.